Hello and welcome everybody to another episode of Golden Gooner TV. Guys, thank you so much to everybody that has subscribed to the channel so far. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button, turn on post notifications and like this video, guys, and then you can check some of my other content that I've posted so far. So, without further ado, guys, let's get into it. Luton Town 3, Arsenal 4. What a game. And for neutral, I think it was a perfect Tuesday night of football, you know. Goals, comebacks, action, controversy. But as an Arsenal fan, yes, I'm happy with the win, but there are some things that I am a bit concerned about. But I think I don't want to be that negative person on start of this video by just speaking about our negatives. Guys, we pulled the rabbit out of the hat once again. This is not a luck thing. This is becoming something that we can almost put this or relate to this Arsenal team. These boys under Arteta have the knack of coming back and winning games late. You know, if you just look at throughout the season already, it's against United, if my memory serves me correct. Yesterday against Luton, and I'm not too sure where else this season we've scored late on. But if you look at last season, we had United as well, and we had the Bournemouth game. So it clearly shows that in this squad and in this team, there's a never say die attitude. And look, if anyone's going to score a late winner, you want it to be your record signing or your marquee signing. And I think, you know, Declan Rice just showed another aspect of his game yesterday. You know, he even said normally he would be waiting at the edge of the box, but he decided to get into the box. And look, people can call it luck, but you create that luck, because if Odegaard doesn't, for example, ask for the cutback, or if Zinchenko doesn't puts the ball in first time, maybe we don't get that goal. But Zinchenko cuts it back to Odegaard, Rice gets into the box, and it's a perfect ball from Odegaard, and Rice attacks the ball. He wants to score. And I think we deserve to win, if I'm being honest with you. Yes, we might have conceded 3 goals, but that doesn't tell the full story. It wasn't like Luton were putting us under immense pressure. 2 of those goals were self-inflicted. I think David Raya had one of his overall performance wasn't bad. It was just in those 2 moments he was poor, because his kicking for me was really good. He handled almost everything else he did to, besides the second and the third goal, you know. But I think that's just what you want a good squad for. Like, sometimes you're gonna need to bail out your teammates from certain situations. I think Raya definitely got bailed out yesterday by the rest of the team, and I think that's what we need. That's what we're gonna have moments this season where some players might make mistakes, giving away a penalty, getting sent off, or etc., and we're gonna need the team to almost carry that load and get us over the line. And look, it might not work every game, but it worked yesterday. And look, that's a valuable 3 points, guys. I think psychologically, yes, it's Luton, but to again win it late is great for the team and for the boys' confidence. But also to know that we've continued to just win our games, you know, and put the pressure on our rivals now. City and Liverpool have to win tonight, you know. And it's not about having to win because the league is almost over. It's just about nobody in the title race wants to kind of slip up, because you never know at any moment any team could go on a run. Look, we haven't been playing the best football in terms of our fluidity, but who's to say that we can't go on a 10-game unbeaten run? You know, we know City are capable of it, and so are Liverpool. So it's just a fine margins in the game, you know, that really, I think will determine who wins the league this season. I think it will be a very tight race up until the end, but it's these fine moments that we will probably look back and say, look, Arsenal picked up that extra 2 points against Luton, and that could be the difference between us winning the league and us potentially not winning the league. So yeah, overall performance, I think we dominated the game. Like I said, the scoreline doesn't really tell the full story of the game. I think we could have definitely had more goals. I think attacking wise we were okay, but defensively I wasn't too happy. I think the goals we conceded were soft. Look, yes, Raya should have maybe caught the ball for the second goal, but at the same time, you know, why is that player almost allowed to jump one-on-one with the keeper? You know, why is there not enough of a buffer between him and the keeper, you know, and the ball? And then the third goal, look, you have to call it what it is. Ben White's defending there is poor. I don't think he gets close enough to Barkley. Actually, gives him enough space for him to get the shot off, and then Raya obviously just lets it go under his body, which we can't really excuse. But at the same time, going forward, I think we look very fluid. I think Havertz and Jesus are starting to get a good link, like understanding between each other. They're looking quite good, and I think yesterday Havertz had his best game. So overall, I think it was a weird game because the scoreline would have you think that it was a closer game. But at the same time, our performance wasn't breathtaking, but we still scored 4 goals. So overall, look, I'm going to take those 3 points any day. Midweek fixture, under the lights, can you do it on a Tuesday night at Luton kind of thing? And yes, we got over the line, especially when you look at Liverpool not beating them. We capitalized, or not capitalized, but it's like, I almost look at it as wherever our rivals drop points, we need to pick up points, and that's how I think we might win the league. For example, look, we drew against Fulham, Liverpool beat Fulham, so that's where they kind of cut the gap. But they drew against Luton and we beat Luton, So that's the kind of thing where I want us to capitalize. Like, because we first, it's almost like match the results of your rivals. So for example, if Liverpool and City both draw tonight, then a draw on the weekend against Villa isn't the worst thing. If they both lose, not saying we can afford to lose, but a loss wouldn't be the worst thing. But if they both win, then there's even more pressure on us to win on Saturday against Villa. So that's just how I'm looking at it. But overall, guys, I'm happy with the result. I'm not entirely happy with the performance, but I know that at this point of the season, sometimes performances aren't all that matters, and sometimes the results, especially with the amount of games we have coming up now, it's just about getting the results, getting the points on the board, and yeah, like I said, I'm a happy Guna. Obviously, there's no point in hiding from it. I think we have to speak about David Raya's performance yesterday, and it's not for me trying to start the Rams versus Raya debate, because I'm frankly very over it and quite bored of it, but I just need to speak about it as an individual performance. That is not of the standard. And look, we might look back at it at the end of the season and this might be insignificant, but I need Raya to really grasp or grab the number 1 jersey and give me more confidence that he is the guy. There are things that I like about him in terms of his, I think he's a bit more composed. Maybe his kicking isn't of the level of Ederson and Alisson, but he's definitely more composed on the ball. He gives me a lot more surety on the ball compared to Ramsdale. But at the same time, you cannot negate his mistakes, because at the end of the day, had this been City and we make these kind of mistakes, or he makes these kind of mistakes, we lose that game. Those are the fine margins, and it's not acceptable for a keeper to make 1 mistake, in my opinion, but to make 2 and to make the mistakes that he did, I expect more from him, especially being a full Spanish international, being Arsenal's number 1 now. There's a certain pressure and expectation that comes with it, and look, if he's not able to handle it, and if Arteta doesn't feel that Ramsdale's the guy, then we kind of have a problem, because then do we even have a number 1 keeper that Arteta can rely on? Because he clearly doesn't think Ramsdale's his guy, but Raya is looking a bit shaky, so what do you really do there, Look, in my opinion, I think Raya will probably still keep his place in the team. I don't think this is a droppable offense, because, yeah, look, I just don't, it's just going to cause problems, man. Like, yes, I know what Arteta said, and Arteta said that, no, he will change the keepers, whatever. But I think that was just a nice way of him saying, nah, Raya's my guy, just to maybe make it ease a bit of the minds of some of the Arsenal fans, regarding Ramsdale. But I don't think that he'll drop Raya, and I think dropping him would not be the right thing. I think playing through it, because he might just come up with a great performance on Saturday against Villa, and that might just, rectify the mistakes that he made yesterday. Because now when you drop him, how long do you drop him for if Ramsdale's not your guy? Like, do you bring Ramsdale in for 1 game and let Raya sit down on the bench, or is it like, okay, David Raya, you sitting out for a while, Ramsdale, you back in, but you're still not my number 1? So it just confuses everything. In my opinion, Arteta should just stick with his guy, regardless of whether he's making the mistakes or not. Same with Havertz, Havertz hasn't been completely poor this season, but there have been games where he was way more poor than what he was. But Arteta stuck with him, and look at it now. Havertz is starting to look a much more different player, So when it comes to David Raya's situation, and especially like just with yesterday's game, I would say let's stick with your guy. I don't think that you can change the keepers like Arteta thought he could. And not because I don't think it will work, I just don't think that Arteta thinks that Ramsdale and Raya are on the same level. I think maybe if you had like a Alisson Ederson, you'd be more likely to rotate your keepers. But I don't think Arteta really believes in what he said. So like I said, stick with your guy. And I think as fans, yes, let's not compare them every time. Like, if someone does this, then it must automatically mean we need to compare him to what the other guy's doing. And at the same time, let's give Raya time, let us take our personal agendas and our feelings from Ramsdale out of it, and let's just back the guy. Yes, not every player is perfect, guys. There's games. Odegaard this season has been poor. Saka, it doesn't mean that we call for them to be dropped. So I don't think we should be that quick to say drop Raya because he made a couple mistakes yesterday. But let me know your thoughts, guys. Do you think I'm maybe just being a bit too easy on Raya? Do you think he deserves to be dropped? Is it because this is not the first mistake he's made this season? Do you think that Arteta needs to bring in Ramsdale, to maybe stick to what he said and be a man of his word? Or do you just agree with me and say, okay, you know what, give Raya time, he's the guy, and let's stick with him for the foreseeable future? So yeah, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Okay, guys, now I want to just speak about the refereeing performance from yesterday. And look, I'm not one to always just call referees out for no reason. I really think that I'm fair in my assessment of the referees, but I think the referee yesterday had a shocker. Not because he got something inherently wrong. I just think the way he officiated the game was poor. I think, he allowed Luton's players to really leave some nasty tackles on our players. Martinelli getting a knee in the back, Saka getting kicked in the back of the legs a couple of times, and certain players escaping yellow cards. And I know that was one of those things that frustrated me. It's about protecting our players. I'm not saying that now our players should be untouchable, but at the same time, you can't be allowed to be kicking us the way that they were kicking us last night. And then I'm so confused why there's not more outrage on the two penalty decisions that he didn't give. First of all, when you look at the Gabriel decision, guys, how is it not a penalty? Like, the player is not trying to play the ball. He's literally pulling Gabriel's shirt. You can see his shirt getting pulled almost off his body, And then you compare it to the Rodri foul against United, and then why is that not given as a penalty for us last night, but Rodri's one was? So I don't understand. That's again the thing. It's not that I want every Arsenal call to be given. Just like, okay, what is the foul? What is the standard of that kind of foul in the box by a defender pulling down or holding an attacking player? Because at this point, it's just like, okay, it depends who the team is and who the referee is. It's not like a standard of there needs to be X amount of contact, or this much pulling. It's just like they referee as they see it. And that's what's frustrating for me, because it's like, let's just say we didn't get the maximum points yesterday. We would have been cheated from that penalty. And then Saka's penalty appeal. Guys, the player takes Saka out after he's played the ball. That's a foul. It's like me playing a 1-2 around a defender, him blocking me. Yes, I might not have the ball, but it's a foul. And the defender took him out cleanly. And it's like, it goes to VAR. And my frustration again is, let the referee go and look at the monitor every time there's a decision like that. Because now VAR are using their own discretion. They're not the referees. They should be like, okay, we're going to give you a slow motion picture, or we're going to show you the picture again. Go to the screen. This is what they're appealing for. Let us know what you think as the referee, and you make the decision. Because now the referee's not making these decisions, and maybe on field he might not think it's a penalty, but when he has another chance to review it, he can then change his decision. But we are not even allowing the referee to make that decision. So yes, guys, I found it very frustrating in yesterday's game, and it's like, yes, yes, we're all happy with the 97th minute winner, but again, same with the Man City game with Kovacic. Yes, we won, but that doesn't negate the fact that there was poor refereeing calls yesterday, and we can't just allow this to be the standard and be like, okay, no, it's cool because we won. It's okay that the referee got such calls, or VAR were involved in not giving such calls, because at the end of the day, it's going to come back to bite us in the ass. So I would really like to see some standard of refereeing across the game in England. I think, it's always a talking point when it comes to referees, and it's becoming tiring. But at the same time, I don't want to stop talking about it, because the minute we stop, we accept it, and we should not accept the standard of refereeing that we are experiencing. It's again like, like I said, yeah, you just look at looking at the foul yesterday on Gabriel, and looking at the Rodri foul, and it's like, why is it not given? And then Saka's penalty, I want to know why. Like, what is the reason why they didn't give it? Like, if they can explain, like, okay, no, I didn't see it as A, B, and C. It's just like, no penalty. Like, what is the reason? And again, the PGMOL will just sweep this under the carpet. Everyone will just, either say, Arsenal are crying and complaining, or they'll just completely ignore it. And that's what's frustrating as an Arsenal fan. It's like, people are now just automatically hating on us because we are doing well. And I don't care what anybody tells me, that's the reason. And I'm quite an unbiased fan. When I see a refereeing decision I don't agree with, I'll call it out. Whether it's for Arsenal, against Arsenal, for Liverpool, against Liverpool, United, whoever. But when it comes to Arsenal, I just have other fans and pundits and stuff just automatically saying like, nope, Arsenal complaining, Arteta is, complaining. But again, would Arteta be wrong in calling out the referee for the two decisions he didn't give yesterday? No. And then that brings me to my another point. Arteta now serves a touchline ban for apparently stepping onto the field. Guys, what has happened to the game of football? We scored a 97th minute winner after being 3-2 down and coming back and winning 4-3. It's not like Arteta ran into the middle of the field, did a knee slide backflip and, point the middle fingers in the face of the Luton players and manager. And now he's banned for the game against Villa. And I've been seeing it all over Twitter where people are saying, the PGMOL or the FA are waiting to maybe give Arteta his touchline ban for the Newcastle comments, most likely at the Anfield game. And you think to yourself, no, man, there's no way they'll wait that long. But now you just look at it yesterday. Like, the referee is not even refereeing the context of the game. He's giving a yellow card. Yes, I get that's the rule. But guys, come on, rules are there as guidelines. It's another thing about Arteta, like I said, if he did something drastic and ran onto the field and whatnot. Guys, we scored a 97th minute winner. We scored in the 97th minute, basically. So to tell him that he should just stand there and just be cool, calm and collected and not celebrate, it's a bit unrealistic. It's just makes the game boring. It's taking the emotion out of the game. So I'm just shocked at some of the refereeing decisions yesterday. And look, I'm not making excuses, but we're not going to have our manager on the touchline for Saturday. And look, if this was a ban for maybe the comments he made, I'd kind of understand it. I don't agree with it, but I could understand it. But for this decision and for what the context of the decision is, I'm very annoyed because we're now going to miss our manager on the touchline. And a lot of people can say, oh, but you know what, it's just maybe one game. But Arteta makes a huge difference on the touchline. And look, Villa Park is a tough place to go, but I'm not going to use it as an excuse. I still expect the players to perform and step up. And I want them to actually use that adversity as fuel in their tank, to go and get a result against Villa at Villa Park on Saturday. So yeah, let me know what you guys thought. Do you guys think that those were penalty decisions that went against us, or do you think the referee got those decisions right? And what do you think of Arteta's yellow card and now that he's banned? Do you think that was a bit of a harsh decision, or do you think that was correct from the referee by sticking to the laws of the game? And how do you think psychologically that will affect us on Saturday at Villa? So yeah, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments regarding those couple of incidents. Our next game, like I've been speaking about now, is Villa away from home, obviously on Saturday. And look, Villa play tonight against Man City, which is going to be an interesting game for them. Look, they got 2 home games against Arsenal and City. Their fans, their players are going to be up for this next week of football. And I was speaking to one of, so I work in a gym, and I was speaking to one of our members, and he's a big Liverpool fan. And we just discuss football because we're football guys and we just love the game. And I was saying, if you ask me what result I would want from the Villa game today, I would probably say a draw, because I think Villa win. Their confidence for Saturday is sky high. If they lose, they feel that they got something to prove against us on Saturday. A draw maybe, puts them a bit in between both. They're just a bit more calmer. But at the same time, I would love Villa to win, just purely for City to not get any points. And look, that becomes pointless if we lose on the weekend as well. But like I said, if Villa can get a result against City, whether it's a win or a draw, I'm happy as an Arsenal fan. And look, I want us to have as much of a buffer between us and City as possible, because I think City are the team that have shown over the past couple of seasons that they can hunt down leads. So, I don't think anything's won in November, but at the same time, as many points as City can drop along the course of the season, the better for me. That's exactly what I want. I think the Villa game this weekend will be interesting. I think it will be a high intensity game, but obviously Unai Emery again, he's obviously wants to get one over us. Arteta won't be there. The way we won last season maybe still leaves a sour taste in their mouth. So it's going to be a tricky game, especially it's going to be a tough game, and I think we're going to need to be on it. And then when I mean on it, I mean from minute 1 to minute 95, for example. And from goalkeeper to defense to substitutes, everybody needs to be in sync. Because I think I wouldn't be upset with a draw, because Villa are good, guys. Villa are in the top 4 and they're on merit. It's not by luck. They've got some good results this season. They've been consistent. I think they haven't lost a home game since we beat them last season. So they're in excellent form, especially at home. So it's going to be a very tough game. But I do think we can beat them. I fancy our chances against every team this season, if I'm being honest with you. The fact that we beat City this season, I feel very confident playing against any team. Not to say that we beat every team, but I'm confident. So Look, obviously, Villa got some threats. Ali Watkins, Musa Diaby, Leon Bailey. They've got some real threats up front, and obviously midfield-wise are quite strong. You got your Boubacar Kamara, Douglas Luiz, who we've been linked with heavily over the past couple of months. We're going to say maybe last 2 seasons. And then obviously you've got John McGinn, who's the captain, who's like a literal workhorse in the middle of the park. Who's going to be on it. And then defensively, they got Paulo Torres there, Ezri Konsa, who's been having a great season as well. And then, obviously in goal, they've got Emi Martinez, who always has something to prove against us. So by all means, it's not going to be an easy game. But I would like to see us take it to them. I'm not saying try and blitz Villa, but we need to approach the game as if we know we can beat them, and as if we know we are the better team, because we are the better team. Villa are in good form, but I don't think they're better than us. And if you can tell me that Villa are better than Arsenal, I just think you're talking rubbish. They might have some players in certain positions that you might think are better, but overall as a squad, I think we've got the better squad by far, in my opinion. There are players in the Villa team that I think would make a huge difference in the Arsenal team. Don't get me wrong. That doesn't mean that I'm saying that we are Galacticos compared to Villa, but I do think that if we have serious ambitions of winning the title, we can't lose. I'm not saying we have to win. Like I said, guys, for me personally, and that's what I said even last season, win your home games, don't lose your away games. You can probably be champions. And that's not always how it pans out, but I think having that kind of mindset, or approaching it that way, is how you end up being successful in this league. And also it also depends now what happens in tonight's game. I think I will have more of a prediction, or more of a feel of how I'm feeling towards the game once I know tonight's result. And either way, I think it's not going to be an easy game, and I think that Arteta needs to set the boys up properly. And I don't know, man. I'm stuck between keeping it the same or making a little tweak and maybe putting in Jorginho to just give us a bit more control in that midfield. But then again, Havertz played very well, and I like what he did in the way him and Jesus linked up last night. So I think that can be an advantageous, kind of thing that we can use on Saturday. And then I will bring Zinchenko back in. I think he didn't do bad, but I just think that we can afford to have Zinchenko in. Yes, Villa are good on the counter-attack, but I think, if you're going to have their front three against maybe our back three of White, Saliba and Gabriel, I can kind of trust Saliba to Marshall, Ali Watkins, Gabriel to Marshall, Musa Diaby, Leon Bailey, and then who plays on their left wing, guys? This is so bad of me. Who plays on Villa's left? Nicolo Zaniolo. He might play there, or it might be Musa Diaby and Bailey. But I do think one-on-one we've got some of the best defenders, and then I think Zinchenko can give us a good element in the midfield, because I think the midfield battle will be essential. I think both teams are very strong midfields. I think Boubacar Kamara, Douglas Luiz and John McGinn is a strong midfield, and I think Declan Rice, Kai Havertz and Martin Odegaard have shown that they're also a strong midfield. So if we can overload the midfield with getting Zinchenko in there, I think that can give us a bit of an advantage and give us a bit of control in the game. If not, then maybe you put Jorginho in and move Rice up, and then unfortunately maybe start Havertz on the bench. But Arteta's going to have a couple of days to just see and obviously prepare for that, and I hope the players are resting today and then are fully focused on the game on Saturday. I hope they celebrated yesterday and were joyous, but then back to the drawing board and see how we can focus on Villa. So yes, guys, that brings me to the end of today's video. I hope that you've enjoyed this video, and yes, let me know, guys, what are your thoughts for the Villa game? What are your predictions? What would your starting 11 be? Do you think that we can get a result against Villa? And as always, guys, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave your comments, guys. Let's interact with each other in the comment section. Let's have a good, healthy debate. And yes, guys, as always, my name is Shannon. This is Golden Gooner TV, and it's good to be a Gooner.